Greetings. Buenos dias. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever I meet you, I greet you. I said that backwards intentionally because I don't know what people watch from. Because I notice I do have people that do watch from other regions, other hemispheres. Hope everyone is well. Good morning. It is Thursday, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Western Hemisphere. That rhymed without intention. One moment, I will be back. I have to set this up. I have some conversing to address and speak of. And I was making a video yesterday, and I was talking about things, and then I had some notice. I don't know if it was some spammer or some bot, but what happened was, okay, where are we now? You got to see this light tripod. It's lightweight, and I've seen these for like $29.99, $39.99. Well, I never pay full price for anything because I know where to shop. Anyway, the financial guru, philosopher, scientist, biologist stuff. Going to have some conversations here. Okay. Yesterday, I was making a video. I was out in front of my house and I was working. I was digging a hole where my mailbox post is, because it's in a, my husband, we put it, he poured cement into a 50 bucket of a milk bucket from a farm. We picked it up years ago. It holds a lot of memory. I'll never get rid of that because a lot of stuff here. Um, you never lose a memory from people that you spent your life with. Well, you do if you can happen. Anyhow, I'm not talking about memories. Yesterday, I was speaking about while doing my work with the moving the mailbox, how I had an incident with these three realtors. Okay, and I had sent an email to the AG's office. However, it nothing not I never received any notification, which that therefore tells me that it went into a spam file or whatever. So I have to directly who communicate my correspondence to where it has to go, where I know somebody will acknowledge and receive. Because anything when you're dealing with government, it's always, you get a response like 6 months, maybe 6 years later, sometimes give or take, but, it's going to take a while. So, now, I'll reel it back. The situation I have with these agents, all right, where this, because I had outstanding permits that were still open, that was all nonsense. That's a whole nother topic. So, and these people knew it, and in any case, people made an offer. What they had was a loan agreement offer. No, nothing in equity, no deposit. Okay. So now, I'm hustling here. I'm getting all this stuff done. I'm looking at places. I'm on top of my game. I'm not a slouch, as you could see. So, with that, I said, I'm backing out. This is not going to be happening. Now, this is the second time I shared that in yesterday's video, which somebody put a flash on. You know what you could do? You could go flash yourself. That was another situation I had from another from another buyer, which I had to back out of because I was hit with a substantial bill. I had to get that resolved. All right. So, and that also, no deposit, just a loan improvement. Just a loan, like there was no equity. Okay, so that first deal I backed out of, and then the second one, all right? Again, bear in mind, no equity, no deposit, just a letter of a mortgage approval. Now, the second incident, the second family, the second time, 2024, last year, the the family had their home for sale. So there were a lot of balls up in the air, okay? So I said, no, it's not going to happen. This one agent, and I have the conversation recorded because that's what I do. When I'm dealing with business, yeah, you're damn skippy. Because you're not going to tell me that you said something was blue when I know something is green or something is black. You understand? People like to play head games. They're great at mind blanking, trying to. The word of this era is gaslighting. But in any case, this woman says, "Well, there's going to have to be a fee. There's going to be a fee." Oh yeah, a fee. Okay. Now I'm doing all this, right? Doing all this. I said, here, you know what? Here, I'll offer. Okay. That was a violation. That was a violation for this woman to ask. Now, they know what happens when people are selling their homes. If, because they've been doing this for years. There's a lot of stuff going on. So, long story short, the other broker who had the buyer, he had the app. Okay, so I did it on the app. Then I requested the money back after I spoke to my attorney. No. So now you're going to be hearing, okay? You're going to be hearing. And if you're watching this, hello, greetings. If you're real, hi. Oh, thank you. You're a supporter. Thank you, Lance. Anybody wants to follow me, follow me. 1 second. So, people, any transactions, any dealings? I mean, make sure everything is noted. Now, these two agents, right, the first two, I offered to one lady, she brings somebody else on. Okay, whatever. I don't know what kind of transaction you people have. I don't care. It's none of my business. You understand? So, yeah, I mean, the level of unethical behavior that occurs with realtors is high. It's significant. Okay? And, okay, so now, with the first incident, let me reel it back. I said I had two families, two different, 2023, 2024. First family, the radon test, which, you buy the kit, no problem. They did that. They had the house inspected. They were, these people, they were, whatever. Okay, so they did that, spent the money for that. And then the septic and house inspection. Do you think that these two agents that had brought this family told the second family, listen, this already passed. I can get confirmation, that her septic passed, her inspection passed, all right? To save this family money, but you know why? They didn't say nothing. Why say something? Because perhaps the people that came were referred by them, and they got a little tip off. You understand? Trust nobody, people. Trust nobody. Trust nobody is what I'm trying to say, especially when it comes to realtors. Okay? And if you want to block me, if you want to say whatever, yes, there's a lot of underhanded stuff that goes on with realtors. All right? There's also a lot of, let's say, a lot of a lot of uh, microaggressive subliminal racism also. Okay? That's no surprise, right? Wow. Ha. Is this a revelation? Please. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I was speaking upon yesterday. And I also spoke upon how issues with my health, how we have to be our own health advocate. Because the doctor's going to just give you a prescription, and that prescription is just basically going to be a band-aid on whatever the underlying etiology is of what is causing your ailment. And for the most part, everyone, I'm not a nuclear scientist, I'm not a physicist, but it's just having awareness of things, because, you know, I'm part of this structure in this universe. I'm an organism living and breathing in the shape of a female woman. Um, the foods that we have been ingesting, the foods that we have been ingesting that have been approved by the FDA, they have lacked so much oversight. That oversight has caused health ailments. Those health ailments then require medication from pharmaceutical companies that can, or perhaps, or highly probable, are also part of that contingent with the pharmaceutical company. Everything's connected together. Everything is linked, okay? Everything is linked. Like I said, I'm born in 1960. I grew up in Harlem, South Bronx, Brooklyn, um, Eden Wall Projects, Grand Concourse. Um, the foods that we had, lower income people, uh, Kool-Aid, the drink of champions, Kool-Aid. Well, Kool-Aid, FDC, all those carcinogens, all those additives that create health problems, that create developmental problems. So, and then who benefits? Who benefits? You have people that have ailments. You have people that are already at the low income of society, not by choice. We don't come into this universe when we shoot down the canal. I wrote this in my book, in a poem, or have a C-section. We don't come out and say, wow, you know what? I think I want to live in poverty. I think I want to struggle my entire life. I think I want to go to a bad school. I think I want to have bad health care. It don't happen that way. That society places people. Society will place people. And in order to get up, we are crabs in the barrel. But people don't realize that. They think like, oh, I got a little something. I'm not giving it to these. The migrants are coming. It's all a bunch of BS. It's all a bunch of BS. It's a way to scare, it's a scare tactic. Okay, 65. I remember a commercial when I was a kid. We lived in Eden Wall Projects. And the commercial was a man, his wife, and their 2 children, 2 or 3. Anybody my age, anybody who's born in my era, who lives in any urban area, here was what the commercial consisted of. A man, a wife, an actress, and 2 or 3 children. And in the concept of the commercial, it was, they show the photo, then the camera zooms in, then they show the photo of the family, and you can see it's an apartment building because it's a small, and then you hear the noise, the sirens, and you hear pop, 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 right? Fire engine, so forth, yelling, shouting, bottles being broken, so forth. And then the man, the next second, he's tapping up the windows and he's closing in, and then he says, or the caption read, for safety, it's time to leave the city. It was probably something to that basic concept, that the fear. It's the city. It's the fear. Look at this. Look at these people. They're animals. Look at them. They're animals. They're savages. Things don't go their way. They wanna ignite stuff. All right. It's been happening. It's been happening. So you're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes with all of this stuff. And for those who think that, you know, oh, you know what kills me? People, I've said this in other videos, people who have jobs, the employer does not have enough employees to offer health insurance, or the employee has health insurance does not meet their family budgetary income, so they have to not have the insurance by choice, and you can do that. Okay, and then they'll be eligible for a supplement, a state-sponsored supplement, Medicaid. But they went and they voted, they voted, they voted. They voted with the assumption and the belief that everything was going to go down, the world was going to be stable, the war in Ukraine ended right then and there. We all know that's no more. That's no more, right? That's gone. That went bye-bye. Right. That went bye-bye like every other thing that this person has said. He's not the only one. He's not the first one to go up and say, you know, be on a platform, rah, rah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to save the planet. He's going to run. He's going to have the world in his hand, right? Yeah, we see that, right? Wow. Anyway, I went a long way for that story. Maybe it's the caffeine. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Mm-mm-mm. So, you too. Explain to me why I got that message yesterday. Tell me. Or was it some bot? Unreal. Anyway, everybody, take care of yourself, take care of your health. If you're struggling, you know, try to seek help. You know, if you're, I have Senpuku eyes. That's what the whites of the eyes show. And it says that people that have Senpuku eyes they're very in tuned. They're also prone to violence, which, yes, I've seen a lot of violence, unfortunately, not by choice. You know, what are you going to do? And that's it. Ooh, Senpuku. Miss Senpuku is going to sign off. Have a great day. Stay hydrated, stay safe, stay well. And like I was saying, if you need help, don't be too humble to ask. Or if you're in a position to help someone, you know, help someone. Clear out your closet, clear out old things that you're not using. Bring it. If you see somebody out, unhoused, because this is our society. This is our society. What kills me is when you see, oh, what the hell happened? Oh, I would never. You don't know what you'd ever do until you're in that spot to do it. So don't say you'd never. Don't say you'd never. You know? Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back. I'll be back with more updated progress as I progress along here in my it's almost like my ever-changing world. No, the kitchen was fine. I got a little I didn't like the gray. I had the gray because I've had enough gray in my life. My life has been like there's always. But anyway, I managed. Take no S for nobody. Peace and love. Bye. Have a good one.